Good morning. I'm Dilip Thakur, editor of EducationWorld.
Good morning, I'm Smia Yasmin, managing editor.
We have a New Year message for all citizens to become evangelists of education.
Yes,
Quality education for all.
indeed. Republic Day. The message for all citizens is why every citizen should become an education evangelist.
And a pressure point for quality education for all. First, let's start with the bad news. Contrary to what the newspapers and many of our leaders tell us, the Indian economy is not in such good shape. Our GDP is only $4 trillion. China's is $20 trillion. America's is $30 trillion.
Yes.
And per capita.
Yes, that's like the most shocking revelation.
Yes.
So India's per capita income is $2,600. China's is $13,600, and the US is $86,000 per year.
So really, there's no point in being the fourth largest economy, because if you have 1 billion people or 1.4 billion people, that's inevitable. But the important thing is how to raise per capita income and to reduce inequalities. Shocking statistic from the World Inequality Report from the Paris-based
Yes.
Paris-based study group there, headed by Thomas Piketty, is that 1% of the population of India owns 40% of national wealth, and 10% corner 58% of the national income. That is not a sign of progress or good going, on the contrary. So our immediate problem is to break out of the middle income trap.
Yes.
That is, we have to attain a per capita income of $13,600.
Yes, to go into the middle income
group. Yeah. Well, China, Malaysia, Vietnam, I'm not sure about Vietnam, but China and Malaysia have done it.
Have done it, yeah.
So the question arises, why are we content to be the world's hewers of wood and drawers of water, also ran laggards in the international development race?
Yeah.
The outcome of that is, the answer of the middle class seems to be to emigrate to other countries. Our own people are sent out to work in the Middle East countries under humiliating conditions, and various other countries, and the vast illegal immigration into a racket of going into Western Europe and American countries. And now, as you know, there's a backlash against Indians emigrating overseas. So quite obviously, we have to solve our own problems and make India a strong economy so that people don't have to migrate. They can have enough opportunities to work in our own country.
Yes. And Dilip, I think we should tell our audiences what you think are the root causes of India's economy and per capita income being stuck in the $2,600 rut.
Well, as we've been writing in so many editorials, our biggest mistake that we made was in the immediate years after independence, we adopted the Soviet-inspired public sector-led socialist model of development, and which meant that all our savings of the country went into giant public sector enterprises managed by bureaucrats and clerks who are not really qualified to run them efficiently. And the result is that they became perennial loss-making enterprises, a millstone around the neck of the Indian economy. And and the social sector didn't get the kind of investment, that is education, public health, public education, public health, didn't get the amount of money they needed for their development.
Yeah.
So we are in a big jam because of that. And unfortunately, the big thing was that in 1948, we had good, successful, big business groups like the Tatas, Birla, Shriram, Walchand Hirachand and others, but they were not, who were into core industries, but they were not allowed to expand. They were tied up in license permit Raj, and all the encouragement is given to the public sector enterprises.
Yes.
So the result is that we have 200, and the central government has 256 public sector enterprises, which are, most of which are loss making, even to this day.
Yes.
And the answer to our over woes is that we should now sell off these public sector enterprises, take the money and invest it in social sector, that is education, human development, public health. We can still do it, and we need to do it.
Yes.
Quickly.
And the second big mistake, according to us, which India made, was the neglect of education.
Yes.
You know, after independence, like say for example, China, Vietnam, all these countries invested heavily in foundational public primary education. India did not do that.
Yes, for the reasons that we stated earlier.
Yes. Way back in 1967, the Kothari Commission had recommended that India spend 6% of its GDP on education. National spending on education should be 6% of GDP. Unfortunately, now 78 years since
That's
independence, it's never happened.
And even to this day, I mean, all these 78 years, we've averaged about 3.5% of GDP.
Yes.
That was a very big mistake.
Yeah. And the result is, I mean, child malnutrition, poor learning outcomes, undertrained, unqualified teachers.
Yeah.
For years, early childhood education was also neglected, severely neglected, until 2020, when the National Education Policy reconfigured the 10+12 education
under pressure
system
from EducationWorld
to make 3 years of foundational pre-primary education mandatory for all children.
Yes.
So these are some of the the mistakes that have been made.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the outcome of all this is very poor productivity in all sectors of the Indian economy. Whether it's in government, we all know how slow government is. The judiciary, we know how slow the judiciary is. We know that in industry also, the output per worker is very low by world standards. And ditto in agriculture. Even in Punjab, wheat and rice yields today are half or 1/4 of what they are in the United States. So this is all because of the neglect of education. And therefore, one of the most important priorities, if we are to ever attain this Viksit Bharat and $30 trillion economy goal of 2047, is that we have to now make a big push in education and human resource development.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Also, Dilip, recently, I think it came to light when you're talking about, license permit quota Raj. Despite liberalization of 1991, I think a recent statistic says that India Inc. is governed by 1,536 acts and 69,000 compliances and 11 filings.
11,000 filings.
Yes, 11,000 filings, which have destroyed literally the MSME sector.
They've destroyed,
which is the backbone of the Indian economy.
Yeah, correct. Destroy the MSME and slow down even our large companies. Our large companies are not large by global standards.
Yes.
They're like pygmies.
Yeah. So this new year on Republic Day, started the new year. Our message to you all, EducationWorld's message to you all, is that every citizen needs to become an active citizen. We have thousands, perhaps millions of passive citizens who just sit in their, armchairs, etc., and criticize. So now that passiveness needs to become active.
Yeah, it's important, of course, for citizens to succeed in their own profession. Yeah. Everyone can't become an activist, but I think citizens have two duties. One is to excel in their own professions, and also then to look at the larger interests. Right now, what's happening, Soumya, in the Indian economy is that we have a 400 million middle class, which is a large middle class by global standard, but all the activity and trade, business, etc. is confined to these 400 million. We have to include the other 1 billion citizens in economic activity. And the best way to do that is to give them good foundational and skills education, and even higher education, of course. And it's much better, as we believe, to teach people to fish than to give them fish.
Yes.
As some great ancient Chinese philosopher said, it's much better to give people training to fish than to give them fish to eat.
Yes,
so
indeed.
It's very important, and our message from Education World to all citizens is to become a pressure point for education for all. Education for all, not only for the middle class.
Yes.
And that means raising up the public system of education.
Yes.
That is government schools, government colleges, state government colleges,
universities.
Yes, where the standard of education is very poor. So let me end by saying that this quality education for all is the non-negotiable precondition of national development.
Yes, indeed. I mean, education is the bedrock and foundation on which we will, progress and achieve our Viksit Bharat goal of 2047.
Yes.
Without investment in human capital development, it's going to never happen.
Yes. Though we have great economists and great planners and so on, they don't seem to have understood that human resource development is the most important thing of all. So
Yes.
we want you, for this year, to always bear in mind that quality education for all is the non-negotiable precondition of national development, and all citizens should become a pressure point. They need to speak up for high quality public education.
Yes.
Because the private education, middle class education is taken care of by the private sector. But there are 1 billion people who are not getting the education that they need and deserve. And it's very important for them to be well educated, well skilled, so that they can become active participants in economic development.
Yes, they need to be contributing citizens of the society as well as of the Indian economy.
So with that, we leave you with that message, and Happy New Year. We look forward to your cooperation in this great enterprise.
Yes, please join us in this mission of attaining our mission statement, which is ensuring quality education for every child and every youth of this country.
Thank you.